Alright, guys, I have to admit something to you. I feel like an idiot. I really do. I have been, for a long time, an ex-Asmongold fan. Okay, I loved this guy when I first found him. Particularly because I was always super into World of Warcraft, and he is like the king of World of Warcraft, or at least he was, in the world of content creation. And I definitely gravitated towards him, especially back in 2019, heavily when Classic WoW dropped, and I really liked his stuff. But around the time of the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard lawsuit, he got really deep into covering politics stuff, and not in a good way. Very much in this weird, like, bandwagony, anti-woke, like, anti-progressive way. And as you can imagine, his audience quickly began to swell with conservative audience members. Like, people are even JQing openly in the comment section of his main channel's videos, from what I have heard, and I have seen as well. Which is quite worrying. That's not great. I don't like to see that. That's not a good thing. And he's continuously pandered to a right-wing audience, and it hit a fever pitch recently when Asmongold went on a rant that was basically just like pro-genocidal towards Palestinians, and it got him so much shit that and this is very rare, Asmongold doesn't do this, and especially not when he triggers people on the left and gets into controversy. He apologized for it. And his apology seemed very genuine. And I don't think that apology was not genuine even still, but I don't think that Asmongold fully understood what was wrong. I think that Asmongold has continued to neglect the fact that he is falling into a pit of misinformation and vibes-based politics that is genuinely threatening the country. The problem is we'd have to argue for like 20 minutes about whether or not there's even any potential harm that could be done. And then we'd have to argue about whether or not the harm that could be done would be greater or less than if the Democrats did it. And then we have to argue about whether or not the greater harm is even worth caring about. And then we have to argue whether or not that caring should be enough that you do something about it, or at least change your behavior in regards to it. It's like, when you argue with people like this, it is so many levels of what seems like intentionally built ignorance as a shield to protect themselves against having to engage with an honest conversation. Now, Asmongold has been continuously having, since Trump won, some pretty iffy takes, mostly meant to pander to and kind of feed into the celebration of the right-wingers in his audience, and he has been having some cringe takes. And it's looking like this is going to boil over into a fever pitch of Destiny, rage debating Asmongold. And not just Asmongold, but xQc too. I'll see if I can find some clips, but xQc has also been doing this whole, like, hand-waving any concern for Trump thing, and, of all people, it's Destiny that is extremely pissed about it, especially after these results, and recognizes that the misinformation and the hand-waving of the truth that Trump supporters and those in the middle have normalized is genuinely destroying our country and needs to be countered. And so it might culminate in a big-ass debate. And I gotta say, I will be there, day one, for sure. You better believe it. Asmongold tweeted the day after the election, in fact, "Incredible to see how ideologically captured the Democrat Party has become by the double-edged sword that is identity politics. Thousands of posts lamenting the fact that people voted for their own best interests." I assure you, Donald Trump vowing to deport the children of immigrants who are naturalized citizens is not in the best interest of 13% of the Latino vote that went over to Trump. I assure you it is not their own best interest, nor if you are working class is it in your best interest to see a 20% plus price increase across the board for products because Trump's going to put tariffs on everything. Rather than the perceived best interests of their identity group. Yes, the perceived best interest of not getting deported from the best country on the planet. Absolutely. He does have a general, like, the upsetting thing is, though, that's the thing. The upsetting thing is, though, the reason why Asmon's incorrect take here is going to be really hard to move him off of is it is based in an at least somewhat correct observation of reality. Yes, Latinos, for example, dropped support for Harris and jumped over to Trump despite how openly anti-immigrant and anti-Latino Trump has been. That is a real observation that you can make. But instead of taking that observation to say, damn, there's something going on, like clearly those people are convinced that Donald Trump's policies are so good for them that they're fine with it, or maybe there's this like kick the ladder down behind you type mindset behind it, where a lot of Latinos in America don't really give a shit. It's like getting your student loan debt canceled, or canceling student loan debt after you've already paid off yours, where a lot of people in America in that situation say, no canceling student loan debt. I already paid mine off. They should have to pay theirs too. Maybe it's just kicking the ladder down behind them. But instead of any introspection or thinking about it, it's just, yes, the Dems must not truly be advocating for these groups' best interests because, of course, they 100% guaranteed know what their best interests are and immediately vote for them and could never be fooled by propaganda or billionaires running one of the most expensive political campaigns of all time. Maybe the most expensive political campaign of all time. Anyway, it kind of culminated further, where Destiny called him out, called him a retard, I believe. Actually, is this the clip?
Oh,
Okay, yeah, we got a full clip. So this is Asmongold responding to Destiny calling him a retard for his pro-Trump takes. And honestly, I gotta say, Destiny W on this one. I'm very disappointed in Asmongold. I was really expecting him to go on a much more positive path after that whole Palestinian controversy.
Oh, I like Destiny a lot. I think Destiny's very smart. I think he's actually more informed.
The benefit here is that Destiny and Asmon have been friends for a long time, and so there's actually a good chance that Destiny can be like, dude, can you just Google this? What do you think the Dems have done that's wrong here? So, like, they can have an actual productive conversation person to person. That doesn't just have to be a destroy the opponent to impress the audience and convince the spectators of the debate. Like, Asmongold in a conversation with Destiny specifically can absolutely be swayed. And that is what I'm hoping to see. Maybe I'm too optimistic. Maybe I'm being naive, but I would love to see that happen. I'm hoping for it.
He's actually more informed about these things than I am, to be honest with you. But I think that if you look at the reason why he did it, and if you look at it in the context of his other companies and his other goals, I think it makes a lot of sense, and I think it was a good decision. I think this...
The audio and video are not synced up, and he's referencing, this is like a really clipped. I saw the full video earlier today, so I guess I'll summarize it, because I don't want to just stream Destiny's video, and I want to keep this kind of, concise and news-oriented, I guess. Destiny started out by getting sent some clips of Hassan, or not Hassan, usually that does happen. That did happen, probably today even. But some clips of Asmon, not Hassan, and xQc, saying some really dumb shit. Notably with Asmon, it was basically trying to equivocate the support of Elon Musk buying out a platform like Twitter and like funding the propaganda campaign for Donald Trump, trying to equivocate to that to billionaires, quote unquote. He doesn't name any, but billionaires supporting the Dems for so long, but apparently no one cared then, right? He eventually does identify George Soros as the guy that he has a problem with, but, I don't think Asmongold could explain how George Soros is somehow doing anything close to what Elon did, especially not on a moral level. Thankfully, it does seem like Asmon's willing to have that conversation. Usually people like this are willing to belt out something really stupid, and they're willing to say it to a really big audience and get cheers and applause and claps for it. And then when challenged by someone who knows what they're talking about, they reel back and refuse to actually stand on that hill and defend it. But they still reap all of the effects of having belted out that take in the first place. And they receive none of the accountability of having to defend it. It's very frustrating. At least Asmongold is not seeming to be going down that route right now. And that is a silver lining, if anything is.
Proves it. So yeah, he just called you an R word? Guys, I've been on the internet for 25 years.
He's been called worse
than that. Do you
than
really think I'm going to get upset that somebody called me retarded?
Yeah, that is true. When you're a content creator, someone's got to be really creative when insulting you if they're going to do anything especially noticeable. It's just going to be like, oh yeah, another one of the million people who have called me retarded because I disagree with them. Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah. That's keeping me up at night. Anyway, so Asmongold seems like he might be open to a conversation after all of this, which is definitely pretty nice to see. I'm happy about that. That is definitely a silver lining to this whole situation. Really quickly, I wanted to see if I can bring up the xQc take. xQc reacts Trump. Well, obviously, xQc was invited to appear at the Aiden Ross Trump live stream event that happened at Mar-a-Lago, and that was pretty cringe of xQc to do. But on top of that, xQc... God, I can't find the clip right now. If anyone has it, they can send it. But I'll just go ahead and reiterate it now, since, trust me, you guys can't even understand anything xQc says anyway, so who cares about the clip? xQc is watching this clip of Donald Trump, or not of Donald Trump, but of people talking about Donald Trump, some mainstream media figures, and they talk about Donald Trump having 34 felonies, and being elected with 34 felonies, and xQc closes the video and says, come on, man, dude. It's so biased. And that's where he leaves it. Apparently, it is biased to acknowledge the sheer fact that Donald Trump is a 34 felony, first time a felon has ever been elected, criminal being elected to the presidential position. Backed by billionaires who are openly partisan and ideologically driven and emotionally driven. And a sexual assaulter and alleged pedophile, yes. Yeah, it's really fucked, guys. It really is cringe to see some of the biggest figures in the world of politics on Twitch, especially. Like, politics on Twitch needs to be burned down. Like it needs to go, dude. It needs to fucking go, bro. I have no clue how the fuck it got to where it is, but it is awful. It is horrible over there. For one, on the left, you've got Hassan as the main representative of progressive politics. And oh my god, could there not be... There could be worse people, to be fair. But good lord, could we not have someone a little better? A little bit better? Come on, good. Hassan has genuinely poisoned so much of the online left. And every time I criticize Hassan, if I don't go on like a 12-minute diatribe explaining all of the horrible shit he's said and done, particularly to well-liked, beloved figures in this space like Dylan Burns, then they say, what do you mean? What problem does Anna have with Hassan? And I end up getting shit for that. A little bit of a flash forward to what's going to happen a little later in the stream when I talk about the drama between H3 and Hassan that has continued to unravel as of late. And then, of course, on the right side of things, or even just in the center, you've got everything from Sneeko and Fresh and Fit to Asmongold and xQc, who are just playing sanity washing for the Republicans and Trump. It's so annoying that because these people who have a massive platform are just random dudes who lucked out on fame, they have no genuine willpower to educate themselves, but they want to have all of the... They want to get their cake and eat it too. They want to be able to seem like they're smart and know what they're talking about, and they're up, like, and cool with it, and they can talk about these things in their chat, but they just end up repeating misinformation, but cannot be fucked, and will actively fight to defend their right not to inform themselves on these issues. They just want to be able to jump on board with the popular opinion and pretend to know what's going on. Those who just need to blow each other's backs out. Okay, Canada's Joel. I'm curious as to what the impact of Hassan has been. I mean, I can't really quantify it, but I can say that Hassan is the most prominent progressive voice on at least Twitch, maybe the whole internet. Has definitely had some negative effects with his defense of Russia and China. He's obviously anti-Taiwan, Tibet, Hong Kong. It's just, yeah. Hassan's got a lot of problems. I could go down the list. He called Dylan Burns a pervert for platforming Ukrainians to criticize his Russia defense. Hassan's just not a great guy. And a lot of people don't want to accept it because he's their fave. But... hopefully we can grow past him and beyond Far, far beyond. That is the goal. And if you want to help with that, then perhaps consider dropping a like. In fact, every single thumbs up is like casting a blue ballot on YouTube to force them to push my content in the algorithm out to new and old viewers alike. You can also comment down below if you want to boost the effect of your like. Mind you, it's totally free and only takes half a second, and right now we are seeing clearer than ever that the right-wing media sphere on the internet needs to be dominated. It needs to be overcame by the left, and if we're going to do that, it's going to require a lot of support from the viewers. Now, financial support does not equal more eyes on progressive content. It is very appreciated, but nonetheless, it doesn't equal more people being convinced. So you don't need to feel pressured or even a responsibility to donate or contribute financially. But if you drop a like and a sub and a comment, it really does help a lot. Make sure to ring the bell icon and turn on all notifications too, so that YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload a new video, because otherwise they won't do it. And of course, if you want to see more from me, you can follow my social medias, linked down below in the description, and join my fan Discord if you haven't already, as it's the main hub of my community and fan base, and totally free to join. I also host at least once a week, on Fridays actually, I host gaming events, call-in streams, and or watch parties. And if you haven't already, and you want to support me directly, and you feel like it, and you can afford it, you can always donate, subscribe, or gift a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or support me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, StreamElements, Patreon, or buying merch to the Streamlabs link down below if you want to help me keep the lights on and the roof above my head here at the Xander Hall studio. Regardless, though, even if you're a lurker, and you're just watching the stream and you don't even say anything, I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you around again, and as always, have a good one.